Hi dear students, hope all of you are studying well. Okay, any doubts we will clear then when we come online live classes. So I think biology also you study regularly. Okay, then keep on studying well. Okay, so last class we have discussed genetic disorders. Now we have just started it and 2 diseases we have completed, Mendelian disorders. Then today we are just moving on to the other 3 diseases which is there in a textbook under Mendelian disorders. So the 3 more diseases you have to study in detail regarding Mendelian disorders. You know what is Mendelian disorder. Okay. Did you study that topics? 2 other diseases, hemophilia and color blindness, did you study? It follows similar pattern, so easy to study. Okay. So anyway, today we are moving on to the diseases. First one, sickle cell anemia. First one, what we discuss is sickle cell anemia. Second one, thalassemia. Then, and the third one, phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria. Okay, in your textbook there is also just the other diseases just mentioned, that also we will just discuss, that is cystic fibrosis. Okay, we will just mention what is that disease. Okay, the name is given in your text. Anyway, today we are focusing on sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis. All these disorders are Mendelian disorders and all these are autosomal disorders. Last class we have discussed 2 sex-linked disorders. Here these are autosomal disorders. That means the gene mutation is on autosome. Then these are also recessive disorders. That means when it's double recessive condition, then only it is expressed. Here the parents can be just carrier and the children can get the disease. Okay, autosomal recessive disorders. Okay, shall we start with sickle cell anemia? Okay, the first disease, sickle cell anemia. The disease you might have heard earlier, familiar. Even though it's not a common disease, you are familiar the name. Is it? Familiar with the name, I think. Okay, did you hear it earlier? Sickle cell anemia. So the first one among this, okay, sickle cell anemia. See, I'm just removing these things one by one we discuss. So you have learned what is? It is an autosomal disorder. It is a recessive disorder. Okay, then we discuss what is this disease. So what happens in sickle cell anemia? Anemia you are familiar. Okay, iron deficiency leads to hemoglobin less amount, you know the percentage will be less. Okay, so it is related to hemoglobin, you know, so they related to blood. Okay, sickle cell anemia is a condition in which RBC becomes sickle shaped. What is the shape of RBC? Normal shape of RBC. You draw it as spherical. Okay, anyway, normal shape of RBC you have studied as what? Biconcave shape. Okay, that means 2 sides concave, biconcave shape. This is a normal RBC shape. And if is mutated, I mean in the sickle cell anemic patients, RBC's shape become sickle shape. Sickle you are familiar. Okay, so what is the reason we are going to discuss? Genetics we discuss in detail. Anyway, understand in sickle cell anemia, RBC shape becomes sickle shaped. Okay, and what is the reason we discuss? Before that, what are the symptoms? If RBCs become sickle shaped, what happens to them? The patients. What are the symptoms? Okay, the symptoms of sickle cell anemia include. What happens if RBC not normal shaped? What is the function of RBC in our body, in our blood? RBC transports oxygen to each and every cell with the help of hemoglobin. Okay, you know that. So, with the help of hemoglobin, RBC help in oxygen transport. if RBC is not normal shaped, if it has a mutant hemoglobin, what happens? It cannot supply oxygen sufficiently. So the patients feel what? Oxygen. If there is oxygen deficiency, any oxygen tension, the patient feels some breathing or troubles. Okay, breathing difficulty. That means not only this, there will not be enough supply of oxygen to cell, all metabolic rate will be decreased. Okay, so sickle cell anemia is a disease in which there is mutation of a gene that we will discuss, genetics we will discuss, and this disease is showing a symptom of what? Sickle shaped RBCs which cannot supply oxygen to each and every cell sufficiently. Okay, so that such patients, if such patient is entering to a closed room, if there is no enough oxygen supply, he will be under tension. Okay, such kind of problems will be there in sickle cell anemic patients. Okay, not considered as a very great issue, still this is a problem. Okay, a genetic disorder. Then we are discussing the genetics of the disease. Okay, so regarding the genetics, sickle cell anemia is said to be an example of point mutation. Okay, due to one gene mutation, hemoglobin, you know hemoglobin is a protein made up of 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. Hemoglobin consists of 4 polypeptide chains. This you have studied last year. There are 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. And here, due to point mutation, one of the beta chain is showing difference, change. Okay, the mutation is affecting one of the beta chains. Since this beta chain is mutated, hemoglobin is mutated. Okay, hemoglobin is having a change. It undergoes polymerization, even though there is a small oxygen deficiency. Okay, so we will discuss to that what type of point mutation it is. Anyway, sickle cell anemia, the conditions, the genotypes of the persons, we can just write this way. If a person is sickle cell anemic, we write his genotype as HBS, HBS. If it's normal, we write HBA, HBA. And if it's a carrier, will be having no any trouble of the disease, we write it as HBA, HBS. These are the different genotypes of related to sickle cell anemia. If the person is sickle cell anemic, HBS, HBS, normal, HBA, HBA, and carrier is written as HBA, HBS. Then what is the disease? Okay, we can just discuss it with the help of a diagram representation. So, the point mutation of sickle cell anemia we can understand with the help of this representation. This will be very thorough, will be clear only after when you study the genetic code next class, next chapter. Okay, anyway, just have a simple understanding this time and we can just get into the details later. Okay, so we have discussed sickle cell anemia. Normal person is represented as HBA, HBA. In a normal person, the beta chain, 2 beta chains are there. In one of the beta chains, beta chain is what? It's a protein, polypeptide. It is made up of number of amino acids, one by one joined by peptide bonds. You have studied. So, in a normal person's beta chain, at the 6th position, there is glutamic acid. In a normal person, in the beta chain, one of the beta chain's 6th amino acid is glutamic acid. In order to form this glutamic acid, every amino acid, every protein production is controlled by a segment of DNA. And in order to produce this glutamic acid, in a normal person's DNA segment, there is a region like this. That means, this region of DNA is responsible for forming this glutamic acid by forming a small stretch of RNA. This is called a triplet code. We will discuss it later. Anyway, in our cell DNA, a particular region of DNA in a normal person which has this pattern. GAG opposite what? CTC, paired with the CTC. I mean, this region of normal DNA will produce an mRNA, an RNA sequence of GAG, okay, with a triplet. We call 3 base combination, we call triplet. So this is copied to an RNA sequence, and this RNA sequence, this triplet GAG will produce glutamic acid, will represent glutamic acid in beta chain. This is a normal person's case. Okay, so normal DNA of this combination will produce GAG triplet cord, okay, GAG sequence that will be responsible for forming 6th amino acid as glutamic acid. Okay, in a normal person this is the case. Whereas in sickle cell anemia, that is a case of 1 base substitution. So we can call it as 1 point change, 1 point mutation. That means the point mutation is like this. In sickle cell anemia, adenine, this adenine is replaced by thymine. Okay, substitution of adenine by what? Thymine. Thymine has come in place of adenine. So we can call it as a substitution. Okay, so as a result of this substitution, when adenine comes in place of, when thymine comes in place of adenine, what happened? Its opposite codon is changed. Its opposite pairing is changed. Thymine pairs with what? Adenine only. So the opposite strand of DNA will be CAC. Okay, from that strand RNA is produced. So RNA also got changed. Instead of GAG, RNA has changed to GUG. Okay, it is GAG which forms glutamic acid, which represents glutamic acid, whereas GUG represents another amino acid, that is valine. So what happened in effect? In the normal beta chain, at the 6th position there is glutamic acid, whereas in sickle cell anemia at the 6th position that is valine. This happened due to 1 point mutation, replacement of adenine by thymine. This is the genetics of the disease. Are you okay with this? Once again I just concluded, that means a simple substitution of adenine by thymine resulted a change, point mutation in the DNA. That resulted a change in the RNA. RNA GAG has changed to GUG. That resulted a change in the amino acid. For beta globin, 6th amino acid, what was earlier normal case, it was what? Glutamic acid. That is changed to valine. So what happened? Valine comes in 6th position of the beta globin chain. What's the problem with valine? If valine comes, you know it's a polypeptide, long polypeptide chain. When valine comes at the 6th position, there is 66th position also there is valine. Okay, this valine, 6th position valine has come due to mutation, and 66th position valine will form a dimer. They pair. When they pair, the coiled structure, when they pair, they pull this polypeptide to deep. This is causing sickling of the RBC. Hemoglobin has mutated, RBC has got sickle shape. If RBC is sickle shape, it cannot transport sufficient oxygen. This will create problem in the patients. Okay, so this is the enough oxygen supply. If it is not there to the cell, all metabolic rate will be adversely affected. Is it okay? So this is about the sickle cell anemia. If this is clear, we move on to the next disease. Just have a look and study it better. Okay, what is a point mutation? The point mutation is a mutation on DNA at single point, single base change only. 1 base has changed. Okay, so any more doubt here? Representation is clear, I think. This way, with the help of these symbols, we have to work out a pedigree problem question. Okay, keep in mind this on symbols, how it is used. Okay, so the next disease is thalassemia. Now, if your textbook is all done, you can see at the end of your textbook. The disease is thalassemia. Okay, and this disease is also autosomal disease, recessive disease. Okay. So you have studied sickle cell anemia. It is easy to compare with the disease and study. So both are problems or due to mutations, problems in blood cells. Okay, our hemoglobin is showing mutation. In sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin is mutated due to point mutation, and there is sickling of RBC. It is a qualitative change. Quality of RBC, I mean hemoglobin is affected. Whereas in thalassemia, it is a quantitative change. That means it is affecting the number of chains. Number. Okay, so just listen to thalassemia is a genetic disorder in which there is enough number of alpha or beta chains of hemoglobin are not formed. Enough number is not there. So we will discuss in detail. There are hemoglobin is made up of alpha chains and beta chains. If it is in infants, alpha chains and delta chains. So there are three types of thalassemia: alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia and delta thalassemia are there. Anyway, these two only you need to study. The delta chain is seen in infants. Okay. So anyway, the alpha thalassemia. First we can discuss thalassemia disease is a quantitative disease, is an autosomal recessive disease. It is quantitative in which there is reduction in the synthesis of alpha chains or beta chains. So if it is alpha thalassemia, listen to the first case, alpha thalassemia. Okay, it is due to a mutation in two linked genes, HBA1 and HBA2. Okay, these two genes, these are the names of two genes. Suppose, just listen here what happens in, what is the genetics of alpha thalassemia. In alpha thalassemia, two genes, HBA1 and HBA2 genes undergo mutation. That means these two are linked genes. If one mutated, it is automatically, there is a chance to affect the other one also. That means if it is severe, 4 alleles are there. I mean 4 alleles are there to affect it. Okay, 2 genes means 4 alleles. If the mutation is there in all the 4 alleles, this disease become very severe. Then we call the disease as thalassemia major. Okay, thalassemia major is very popular. It is not very common in our place. Okay, that's why we are not familiar. Thalassemia major is known as Cooley anemia. The disease is known as Cooley anemia. When it becomes thalassemia major, see there are 2 genes mutated. HBA1 gene, HBA2 gene. The one gene itself has 2 alleles. Okay, if the mutation is there for all the 4 alleles, this becomes a severe disease. Then we call it as thalassemia major, that is popular as Cooley anemia. Anyway, we are not moving to the details of it. This is not given in your book. Okay, there is not much details required. Anyway, alpha thalassemia is due to mutation on these 2 genes, and these genes are located on chromosome 16, 16th chromosome. Okay, so what happens? If the genes are mutated, there will be reduction in the synthesis of alpha chain. Understand the result? When these genes undergo mutation, if the genes are not normal, mutated means there is reduction in the number of alpha chains. So what 2 alpha chains pair with 2 beta chains? There is reduction of alpha chains means there will be excess number of beta chains also. Both are problems. Reduction in number of alpha chain is problem. Okay, there will be abnormal transport only, and excess beta chains also accumulate and it include to other cells and create problem. Okay, so in effect both these are harms. Okay, understand, in alpha thalassemia, due to these mutations, what happened? There is reduction in the synthesis of alpha chains. So there will not be sufficient supply of what? There is no enough, normal hemoglobin formed. Quantity is affected, less HB only. So less transport of oxygen only. All metabolic rate will be delayed. Okay, then there will be excess beta chains because it is not getting paired. Beta chains will be excess. These beta chains also include to other cells, and even it can cause mental problems, mental retardations. Okay, and seizures, sudden electric changes, electric discharges in the cell. Okay, brain. So these are all major symptoms of this. It adversely affect the oxygen transport. Okay, there won't be enough oxygen supply. Okay, it may lead to some seizures. That means sudden electric discharges. Okay, and also it leads to poor development, metabolic development, and there will be even mental retardation by the accumulation of this all beta chains and all in cells. Okay, brain cells. So these are the major problems of what? Alpha thalassemia. Beta thalassemia also creates same type of problem, but their genetics is slightly different. Is alpha thalassemia clear for you? Mutation of these two genes. These two genes are linked genes, therefore one mutated, chances there the other also to get affected immediately. Then these are all located on chromosome 16. If they undergo mutation, HB is not normal. Now, enough number of hemoglobin cannot be formed because beta chains may be okay in number, but alpha chains are reduced in synthesis. So, the reduction in synthesis, reduction in HB amount, reduced oxygen supply. Okay, excess beta chains create some problems. It may include other cells. Inclusion will be there to the other cells. Then will be creating again troubles for mental retardation, seizures. This all can be symptoms of alpha thalassemia. Okay, the next is beta thalassemia. In similar way, we can discuss it. It is easy. Okay, the same symptoms also same. Not rapid actually. Then here the gene affected is only one gene. The gene undergo mutation is in beta thalassemia HBB gene located on chromosome 11. Okay, HBB gene in chromosome 11 is mutated. So it is affecting a reduction in synthesis of what? If it's beta thalassemia, reduction in synthesis of beta chains. Reduced amount of beta chains. That's why we call it as quantitative. Quantity is the matter. Okay, reduced synthesis of beta chains. So what happened? There will be more alpha chains. That also is a problem. Okay, and this will create what? Less number of hemoglobin. Normal hemoglobin is less. Should have both chains equal. Then it will be adversely affecting oxygen supply to the cell. Okay, body metabolic rate is decreased. Similar symptoms. Decrease in metabolic rate. Okay, these are the major cases of thalassemia. Okay, so when we compare sickle cell anemia and thalassemia, sickle cell anemia is a qualitative disease connected to hemoglobin. This one, thalassemia is a quantitative disease connected to hemoglobin. Here there is no enough number of hemoglobin produced. Whereas in the previous case, sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin is malformed. Okay, so there it is polymerization of HB. Here is reduction in synthesis of HB. Either alpha chain is less in alpha thalassemia, alpha chain is reduced less in number. In beta thalassemia, beta chain is reduced in synthesis. Earlier case is a substitution mutation, point mutation. Here genes affecting what? Genes on two separate chromosomes are affected. Okay, I think these topics are clear. Sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. Any doubts we will clarify later. Then we move on to the next third disease. Another autosomal recessive disease, that is phenylketonuria. The third disease is phenylketonuria. Okay. Phenylketonuria. As I told, okay, we have already discussed this is autosomal recessive disease. Okay. Then, in a normal person, phenylalanine, when through diet when we get phenylalanine. Okay, what is phenylalanine? It is an amino acid. Okay. In a normal person, phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine through metabolism. Through diet or through metabolism, when we get phenylalanine, in a normal person's body, this phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine. This is a metabolic process in our body. Okay. And this process is controlled by the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. The enzyme required for this conversion is, this metabolism is phenylalanine hydroxylase. So in order to produce this enzyme, every enzyme production is controlled by a gene, right? Okay. There, suppose this we are naming it as gene A. Okay. So gene A, a particular gene in our body, is controlling the production of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. Okay. And this enzyme is responsible for the metabolism of phenylalanine to tyrosine. The conversion of phenylalanine amino acid to tyrosine. Suppose this gene has mutated. Okay. Due to gene mutation, what happens? This enzyme is not produced. Then tell me, if this enzyme is not produced, what happens? This reaction will not take place. Okay. So the tyrosine is not formed. So what happens? Phenylalanine will be more in the body. Phenylalanine is not converted to, it is not metabolized. So what happens? It is accumulated in the body. Moreover, it is converted to other forms. Okay, phenylpyruvic acid can be formed from this. Through another pathway, it forms phenylpyruvic acid. Also, other derivatives are formed. Phenylalanine, its own derivatives are formed, not tyrosine. Okay, so understand the process. If this gene is mutated, due to one gene mutation, one enzyme is not produced. So, phenylalanine to tyrosine conversion is blocked. As a result, phenylalanine accumulates in the body and it is converted to its own derivatives like phenylpyruvic acid and other forms. And all these forms, phenylalanine and its derivatives, can accumulate in the brain and it results in mental retardation. And excess phenylalanine can be excreted through urine. Along with the urine and along with the urea and other components, phenylalanine also can be traced. So that is why the name phenylketonuria. Okay, other derivatives include phenylketone bodies. That's why the name phenylketonuria. So understand, excess phenylalanine in the body will be converted to phenylpyruvic acid and phenylketone bodies. And this can be excreted through urine. So the name of the disease is given, so phenylketonuria. And also these components accumulate in our brain and create mental retardation and other troubles. Okay, that is about the disease phenylketonuria. I think that also is clear. Okay, just remember that metabolism, and if that metabolism is affected by a mutation, that what is the reactant, I mean the substrate is accumulated. Okay, no products are formed. Then that accumulated substrate is creating even mental retardation. The intellectual capacity will be lost. I mean, there won't be enough intellectual development for the patients. Is it okay? If so, we will discuss the last one. Just in your textbook, it is just mentioned only. You can just understand what is it. I am not going to the details of the disease. The name only given in your textbook, that is cystic fibrosis. The disease is cystic fibrosis. This is also an autosomal recessive disease. Okay? And here, due to a gene mutation, okay, suppose gene A, what happened? An enzyme is not produced. Okay, enzyme name is not given, no need to study. Okay, due to one gene mutation, due to the absence of one enzyme, body produces abnormally viscous mucus. We know mucus is very important in our body for all resistance and all other purpose. And what happens is its viscosity is affected. body mucus will be, the mucus deposits of the body throughout the alimentary canal pipe and our gastrointestinal and our reproductive tract. Everywhere mucus is there. That all mucus quality is affected. It become abnormally viscous. That is the case. In cystic fibrosis, patient's mucus become abnormally viscous. Okay, and this will very immediately affect sweat gland, the sebaceous gland, like glands. Okay, and other glands which having a direct connection with the mucus. That only about, we may not move to the details of that. So we discussed mainly Mendelian disorders, sickle cell anemia, thalassemia, phenylketonuria, and just 2 sentences about cystic fibrosis. Okay, all these disorders are autosomal recessive disorders. The first 2 we discussed were sex-linked recessive disorders. Altogether, we have discussed this many disorders under Mendelian disorders. Okay, complete your notes also side by side. Then everything will be fine. Study daily. Then you can understand it. Don't keep it as such. Every day you study. When we complete the topics, study at home. Then this will be clear. Okay. Thank you.